Hey everybody, thank you so much for tuning in. Today's video is another Dollar Tree Fall Decor video. If you haven't already seen the first Fall Decor video, definitely check it out. I made this thing, a wreath, and a few other things. So this time I'm gonna do something with more traditional colors since last time everything was a little bit more neutral and muted. And I really hope that you enjoy this video and stick around by subscribing to this channel. Once you hit that subscribe button, we instantly become best friends.
What? Did we just become best friends? Yep!
And please go ahead and hit that notification bell so you know every time I post a video. Give this video a thumbs up if you like it, and let's go ahead and get started. For my first DIY, I'm going to be using this Dollar Tree foam pumpkin, and I'm going to be removing the stem, which is really easy because it's just a toothpick that's holding it in place. And this pumpkin is actually inspired by two pumpkins that I saw at Michael's for $20 and $10. So I'm going to use natural raffia from Dollar Tree to mimic the look. And once you unravel it, you're going to see it's a little bit messy, but just have some patience and put everything in order. I just tried to get as many strands as I could and then cut it down so that it's nice and neat. So once I had a nice bunch, what I did was flip this pumpkin on its backside, and I added a generous amount of hot glue and pressed my raffia right down there. If I'm pronouncing it incorrectly, please let me know in the comments section. But you want to be very careful not to burn your fingers, and do not pull until it's completely dry. So I'm going to hot glue it to the other side as well. And this is really time consuming because you have to let everything dry really well before moving on. So now I'm going to connect those two pieces, and I'm just going to add hot glue to the other side of this. Now you have two ways of doing this. You can either wrap round and round or cut and go. I prefer to cut and go so that it doesn't end up with a giant bump at the bottom, but it's totally up to you and whatever's comfortable. So now I'm going to add hot glue to the side instead of just adding on top of the middle, and this is going to prevent us from having that giant bump. I'm also going to be pressing down with the raffia package just to make sure that I don't burn my fingers any more than I already have. And make sure that all of the pieces are getting glued down. So take your time with this. This is a time-consuming project, and you're just going to keep wrapping around and making sure that you cover the entire pumpkin. You can paint your pumpkin white underneath so that it isn't so apparent. That is totally up to you. By the way, this one pumpkin took all 3 of the raffia bundles that come in that one pack. So I'm going to keep cutting down every time my glue dries, and if there are any loose pieces, I am going to pull them tight, but that's totally up to you. This is what it should look like when you're done, like a beautiful onion, but we are going to fix that by adding a stem and some leaves. And for the stem, I'm going to use the cinnamon stick. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually break this in half because it's a little too big, and then I'm going to cut it just so they're a little even. So now that they're sort of even, before I add those, I am going to add some of the leaves, and these are Dollar Tree felt leaves. And I'm going to add this leaf over to the side. I really want it pressed in, so I'm going to add hot glue to the entire thing. And then I'm going to press it in, making sure that I don't hurt my poor little fingers. Now I am going to hot glue my cinnamon sticks. By the way, this smells amazing. And I'm going to make sure that I hot glue them together as well. I still feel that this looks a little weird, so I am going to add another felt leaf. To finish it off, I'm going to add the leaf of a leftover Dollar Tree flower. I'm just going to fold it in half and push it up against the stem as close as I can so that it looks like a real pumpkin. And I'm going to make sure that this is nice and flat on the pumpkin so that you can't tell that it is a flower leaf. So once you have that, bam, you have a beautiful pumpkin. For this project, I'm using a large willow wreath from Dollar Tree, of course, and I'm going to use these crimson colored chrysanthemums. I'm basically just going to cut these down, and the reason I'm going to cut these down is because I don't like to hot glue. So with my side cutters, I'm just going to cut a tiny little piece of all of these flowers, and basically I just want enough to be able to wrap these around my wreath, and you'll see in just a second. So I'm just going to push the leaves up because I do want the leaves, and then just cut my flowers down. And for this whole wreath, I only used one bouquet of flowers. I'm also going to use these pumpkins, and so that I don't have to use glue since these are foam pumpkins, I'm going to be using toothpicks, and I'm going to angle them off in the position that I want the pumpkin to sit. This is a great way to be able to reuse your wreath and your pumpkin because you're not going to be damaging it with hot glue. So now I am going to grab my flowers. I am going to stick them in the middle of all these little branches. And once I get it in, I'm going to grab the back side and fold it forward so that my flower will not move at all. And this is going to take a little bit of work. I didn't cut them long enough, but I just didn't want them poking through. So as you can see, this one is in place. And now I'm going to add my second flower. And the best part about this is that you can reposition them. You really don't have to worry about gluing something in a position that you don't want it in. And you can always reuse these flowers as well. So as you can see here, I'm just bending this. And now I'm going to add my Dollar Tree pumpkin right there. And as you can see, the toothpick fits perfectly, and you can always dig it in a little bit more if it's showing. And now I'm going to continue to add my flowers and my pumpkins until I get a look that I want. And some of the flowers really don't need bending because the little branches are tight enough. Some of them are. Since I want this one in a different position, I am going to angle the toothpick differently. I kept adding pumpkins and flowers until I got the look that I want, and I did want the top side with the willow side showing, and bam, you have a beautiful wreath. For this last DIY, I'm going to be using this wall sconce. I made a lantern wall sconce using this, and I'll leave the video below, but you can hang it using command strips, and since it's hollow, you can also use nails. But basically, what I'm going to do is I'm going to get this cute little vase from Dollar Tree. And this one is super duper simple because all I'm doing is adding my chrysanthemums right in there like a cute little flower arrangement. And now I'm also going to add this little cotton bouquet, but I'm just going to add a few pieces. So I'm going to cut down those little pine cone pieces just to give it a fall touch, even though the flowers are enough. I am going to use some of the little leaves that come with it. You can skip this step or you can add little mini pumpkins. It's totally up to you. I'm just going to place them in my arrangement. And then I'm going to pull the little handle forward. And once my wall sconce is on the wall, I am going to hang this on the hook that's there. And bam, you have 3 super duper simple, all Dollar Tree fall decor pieces. If you like this video, please don't forget to give me a thumbs up, and thank you so much for watching. Till next time.